So different stages of their life. So the Planetarium Findings first up. This is awfully small text. We should have a really good giant screen here, but we don't, but so this will have to do. But just so you know, the majority of planetariums are small facilities. There really are three different market segments within planetariums. There's those that are very small, that are less than up to 99 people in a dome, so about a 10-meter dome. A range of 100 to 200 people, so 10 to 18-meter dome, and 200 plus people in the theater, which makes that an 18-meter dome or larger. So, so the annual attendance is actually quite a bit low because of how it gets averaged down. But planetariums tend to be somewhat smaller than giant screen theaters in the first place, though. Next. One of the things about the attendance trends, and this is really where we're talking about here, is that attendance is either holding or growing. And the decline is actually quite small, and this is very encouraging from our standpoint. So 76% are going up or staying the same. Now in this one, these are showing other theaters that they've got in their facility. So you can see there's a lot of different types of, right down from an auditorium here at the bottom, 4D theater, IMAX. So there's a lot of other spaces that can be used beyond the dome. It's mostly typical that if there's one dome theater, that's all there is. There are some exceptions to that, but for the most part, that's what it's about. But this was focused on planetarium, so you can see it is the primary in that facility. Ticket price. Who charges and who doesn't? I'll come back to who does and who doesn't on the next slide. But this we turn around and talk about adults. Adults are typically $5 or higher. Children, 4 to 5. But where we found in charging in planetariums, about 30% of planetariums either don't charge specifically for their planetarium or they're free. Mentioned yesterday, Sharon Shanks was up and mentioned that she can't charge for her planetarium at all. It's an education mission, and that's what it does. But she's lacking the reinvestment that would be necessary to keep her programming up to date and things of that nature. And this is really one of the big differentiators between planetariums and giant screen dome theaters. Here's one where you want to watch the orange and the blue, because this tells you what's most important in what's going on. So where the concerns are in planetariums, their biggest concerns are all in repeat visits. They're trying to get people to come back again and again. Being typically not-for-profit, concerns of cost of operation, so how do you keep your dollars out of it? But once you've gone through that as a concern, it gets back into the thing. Here's mutual concerns. Content. Content will show up again and again in everything that we do. And I'll just draw attention down lower we ask questions around optomechanical situations, star balls and things. It's just not as important as it once was in theaters, particularly as they convert to digital. So this is a question that says, media, how many shows do you license each year? By far and away, one show per year. Now this is also a difference in the model of how the shows are acquired in the planetarium market. In the planetarium market, the shows are acquired by paying a license fee for a period of time. It could be 1 year to 5 years or even up to 50 years. But you pay a fixed fee and that's what you do. So if you were acquiring one show a year, in 5 years you'd have 5 shows that you could rotate through in your programming. And this being totally different in the giant screen market, it's a revenue share. You pay a royalty to keep the shows moving. Totally different view as to the way it works. This is the type of content that's in a planetarium. Obviously, things that are astronomy and space technology are very high, earth sciences, very high in what's going on. What makes this slide important, not only do you cover what is important, But they cover a lot of different topics, a lot of different areas that they, everything from history to math. There's a lot of different topics that are taught in a planetarium space. Okay, next is now this one here. If it's a little different. If you look at the chart. The blue means completely unimportant, just so you know. It's a little bit backwards on this one, but very important in the orange, and then important in the purple. So live presenters are number one, and that was expressed yesterday, very much so, and Ryan emphasized it, and Jeff did as well. So, and then comes down to the Fulldome video system. But if you look live presenters, Fulldome video, and then you drop down, and community outreach tools and things of that nature start to fit in. What I would like to draw attention to down here is that 3D displays are just not that important to what's going on in the planetarium market because of the immersive space. Another note, the optomechanical projector is not as important as the Fulldome system. As far as technology, looking at when people are looking at doing upgrades, it's difficult to say what an upgrade really is. It could be just software, it could be a display, it could be any other components that are in there. But what we do like is that there is a significant portion of people that are going to be going upgrading in the next 24 months. Okay, on this chart, I look for the blue and the orange as being most important. So most important, very important to what they're doing. Start off with the user interface right up at the top. Clearly, it's got to be easy to use. And if you're looking at live presenters, it needs to be something that a live presenter can use very easily. Then you come down to the real-time functionality, very important to what they do. The next number of attributes, though, are around picture performance, display contrast, etc. This is where it's at. Coming down, display brightness down, still important, but dropping off. But coming down, what do we see at the bottom? 3D capability, again, right at the bottom of the list. But most of it is ease of use and be able to have good functionality in the dome as one of the, and image quality. Okay, on technology. When we talk about price as being a #1 issue in technology acquisition, price could also mean budget. It wasn't entirely clear in how this worked out, but price is clearly driven, and you're working in an institution, not for profit, whether it be a high school or a college or a museum like Denver. A cost of acquisition is really important what goes on. But if you look at the next one, display performance, it's got to have some good pop to it. Was a question. Coming down, it really comes into display performance and things of that nature. Things like installation time, obviously not as critical. You can plan for